Hey, everybody. Welcome to FL Teams Special Edition. Uh, I'm Jeff Macolino. It's Jeremiah Hensley. We're here on a Saturday, and of course, it's Super Bowl Eve. There's this little event that people like, and I
It's a small one.
yeah, it's a little small holiday, I would say. I think yesterday at one point they had said already $13 billion in bets had been placed on the event. So we, of course, are not giving professional gambling advice here at FL Teams, but for the second year in a row, we are going to go through some of the best things to look at in the Super Bowl, and it's the prop bets. And we got them here for you this year, even though there is no Eli Apple prop bets to present this year. Hopefully, we'll find someone else to pick on, and he'll lay an egg in the Super Bowl like Eli so graciously did for the good of FL Teams last year.
For the good of us all, right? You got to think, dude, this is like Christmas Eve for the sports books. This is the greatest of greats, right? I mean, I can't, maybe March Madness, right? I mean, maybe, but the Super Bowl, with all due respect, because I can be one sometimes, draws a lot of donkeys out, dude. A lot of people who have no idea what we're doing with our bets, but it's fun to be at the party and throw some cash at stuff. I mean, dude, this is where the sports books really rake. And it's good times.
Yeah, it is. It's a gamblers. It's just a holiday. No one should have to work on Monday.
Well, Philly, at least in Philly, half the schools have like moved their start time back to like 1:00, or they're just calling it a day. They've already like canceled school and everything else for Mondays.
I didn't think, judging from the people who live in Philadelphia, I didn't think they had schools there.
Well, the kids never went. I think this is more that proactive, we'll give you a chance to resign before we fire you. Like, we're just going to take the day off because nobody's coming anyway.
They teach kids what fingers to use to express their emotions and all the expletives and
well, the gym class must be fantastic because when you watch these guys scale greased up light poles, I mean, they're learning something.
Yeah, well, there's some life skill there,
Yes, sir.
I was going to say, just kidding. I love you, Philly, but I don't. I hate you. Let's dive on in to these prop bets. We're going to end with the over-under and the point spread. We'll get to those. Those are the big daddies. Let's start with the really serious one, though, here. What color Gatorade will be dumped on the winning coach? Jeremiah, I'll let you pick first.
I'm literally going to I'm going to say it's water. It's not Gatorade. So we're going clear and or water. We got to do something out of this.
Gotcha. I will, you are marked down, and I'm going with the one that I go with every year because it's the one that got dumped on Sean Payton. And I do believe it is the one that is the most commonly dumped Gatorade on a coach. It's orange.
Well, in fairness, for a guy who's an avid Gatorade drinker, it's by far the best tasting Gatorade. So I understand why they have it on the sidelines.
Yes, that's the Gatorade I keep in my house.
100.
All right. Let's move on down here. The next one we got passing touchdowns for these two quarterbacks. The over-under for Jalen Hurts, 1.5. And this is only passing, of course. And the over-under Patrick Mahomes, 2.5. You've also got some nice odds on this over for Patrick Mahomes. Anything jumping out at you here?
What's jumping out to me really is what you just talked about, the odds, because it's crazy. I mean, that's big odds on the under, and to go on that under, and then there's big odds on the over. Neither one of them, man. I feel like they're spot on at this. If anything, I would take Mahomes for the over 2.5, just because I feel like Kansas City, any way they score, it's going to be a pass. It's going to be a shovel pass or something out to the running back. I don't see Kansas City lining it up in an I formation and jamming it in, So Mahomes.
Yeah, I can't resist this over, and especially really getting, you're hitting more than what you put in if you bet on the over.
Yeah.
And my prediction, 27-13. Patrick Mahomes gets those 3 touchdown passes. And I
And
guess
then your gravy.
what the hell? I'll also go under the 1.5 for Jalen Hurts, because if they score 13, I guess he could throw 2 when they miss an extra point or something, but I'll take the under here. I'll really lay into the Chiefs over the Eagles here with my bets.
So like we said, what we're going to do with this is we take these bets is we'll go to the assumption of $100 bet, right? That way, at the end of these odds, we're going to see what's laying down. And then Jeff and myself, as we're working through this, at the end of the day, the man with the bigger bankroll is going to be considered the king of FL teams props, and some shenanigans shall follow.
Yes, yeah, there will be a punishment of sorts.
We'll announce that on the reveal show.
Yes, and since we did have a couple of people who could not make it, the punishment will be less harsh than it would have been if you got last out of 4.
Yeah,
because obviously Jeremiah and I are both going to do great.
Right, you guys have watched this all year. You know how it's just genius football minds.
Yeah, we haven't been wrong about anything this year.
Never.
Not a we need to go through all,
Yeah.
We need to go through and clip some of
our. There needs to be a recap, and you and I and Isaac will talk about that. But there needs to be a highlight reel from this season, because there were some spot on and there was some way off.
We do have a comment here. I'll need to check. We got a long list here. I do not know if there's a Sherman TD prop on this list.
I'll do a search for us here. Keep us moving.
All right. Anything jump out at you here? Let's look at the rest of the quarterback stats together here. The passing yards here for Jalen Hurts. This jumps out to me because we talked about this with Steve a little bit, and he wasn't very happy when I pointed out that they've only thrown for 275 yards in their first 2 games. Obviously, they didn't need to because of the score. Mm-hmm. That being said, I still think they're a run the ball team. So I'm going to lay a bet down here on the under 239.5 passing yards for
Put me in there too. Put me in there too. I think you heard when you and Steve and I were breaking this down. I like the Eagles, but I like the Eagles because I think they're going to run the ball, period. Right? I mean, but on the flip of that, I'm going to go ahead and throw it on the Mahomes going under as well. I don't think 294 is coming. I don't think 300 is going to be there. I'll take the under on that one too.
That's an interesting one. I'm not going to bet on it either way. But if the Eagles build a lead, I would bet everything that Mahomes goes over. I don't, obviously, with a 27-13 prediction for the Chiefs, because the Chiefs are going to win the game. I obviously don't. I'm just hoping Steve tunes in. I obviously don't think that's going to happen. But if it were to happen, I think that over is about as sure of a bet if they go down 2 scores at any point in this game. I am going to, despite what the nice things I'm saying, I'm gonna place one here on the Pat Mahomes over 1/2 of an interception.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one too. There's going to be interceptions. I'm going to take the over on Jalen Hurts too. I mean, I think there's going to be turnovers because these defenses are just too damn good not to create them.
I'm so tempted. I'm going to let that one sit on my end. I'm so tempted, especially with it, being the getting a little bit back if he throws a pick, having the plus 104. That seems like a lot more action on the under than I would anticipate, honestly, for that one. But I'm gonna resist. I'll let you have that one by yourself. And I'm not touching these pass attempts because, again, I think it's all going to be dictated on what happens as far as the flow of the game. I mean, if the Chiefs fall behind, if the Eagles fall behind, the over is going to be a sure thing for either one of them if they're down 2 scores.
So look, I called it early on. I called myself a donkey coming out. Under 31.5 for Hurts. If the Eagles are throwing the ball 31.5 times, then I'm dead to rights all the way around. Because to me, again, the Eagles to do this are going to utilize every running back that they have and make that happen. I can't. 31. I mean, look at that. You're talking about a separation in this over-under of 7 pass attempts. These seem like completely different offenses for that, right? I mean, like Kansas City's pass heavy, Philly's run heavy. It's like 7 is where our spread is. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yep. I'll roll them under.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from with that. I'm going to hedge my bet so that the Chiefs get a 2-score lead and Jalen has to throw the ball more. But I'm not going to pick the over either. I'm pretty conservative here with my gambling. Let's jump into the rushing. We already both let each other know ahead of time. There's one obvious one here to both of us. And I believe I'm highlighting that one.
Yep.
And I'm going to go ahead and highlight this one, at least for myself, and probably, yep. I assume you're on board too.
Same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that seems, I would not be surprised if he had as many carries as Miles Sanders had in this game. I don't see any way that he does not get at least 5 carries, and I would assume more than 20 yards in this game. They're going to be in big trouble if Kenneth Gainwell does not do at least that.
Yeah. Now I'll take the ankle bet here, as we'll call it, right? And the ankle bet's going to tell me Mahomes under 19.5.
That's not a bad one. Yeah. The only reason I'm hesitant on it is if his ankle is better, which it supposedly is better than it was against Cincinnati, he does have the tendency to have that one big run every game, it seems. So I'm going to resist betting on that one. I do think as part of that ankle thing, I'm going to take Pacheco over 11.5 carries also.
Okay.
Because I do think they're going to try to run the ball and control the clock a little bit. I'm not taking the over 48.5 yards. But I am going to take the over. I think he'll get it, around 15 carries. And again, I'm kind of hedging my bets the same as you're kind of hedging your bets that the Eagles stay in it. I'm hedging my bets that the Chiefs take a lead. And therefore, I think they're going to be more likely to keep the ball on the ground more.
The Travis Kelce over a half carry is an interesting bet. But like I haven't paid that much attention to the Chiefs this year to know if that's in the playbook. I see a hell of a lot of dump offs and shovel, but not straight handoff.
They do that play where Noah Gray, I believe, is the other one, or Travis Kelce lines up and it basically does a QB sneak.
Okay. Snap to the tight end. Gotcha.
Yeah. So this year, Kelce only has 2 carries for 5 yards in the regular season, and Noah Gray had 1 carry for 1 yard, and it was a touchdown.
I remember the Dolphins stole that play out the book. They did it with Durham Smythe once, where it was, they're coming in motion. The QB walks away as if something's going on, and you snap straight to the tight end.
There's a lot of motion and all that, and I mean, I love the play, and if you get a nice return if he gets a carry, but that's one. If we had 4 people on this show, I would take that bet all day for the
sure.
But I don't want to lose because I'm sitting screaming at the TV on Sunday. Give Travis Kelce a handoff or something, please.
Just give him the ball.
I need a lateral or just something that counts as a rush to Kelce.
Arguing how they're scoring that shovel. That was a handoff. It was a handoff.
That was a lateral. It was not a forward pass. Yeah, so I don't want to be that guy drunk at the Super Bowl party in the 4th quarter screaming at my TV that Travis Kelce needs a run. I mean, I might still be that guy, but, at least it won't be because of this.
Now we're into the receiving yards. These are
into
interesting.
The receiving. I edited some of these down, as you can tell, and I'll do this so we can look all on the same page here. I obviously did a good job preparing this. All right, we got the Eagles receivers of both the main 2, Brown and Smith, on here. Kelce, and then I kept our Florida college boys here, Valdez Scantling from USF and Kadarius Toney. And then also this is an interesting one. This is your most receiving yards, and you can see the odds for all of them. These are those These are those bets that probably will end up deciding the winner and loser if we can hit on these guys. Anything jumping out at you off the bat that you want to jump on here?
It's how I want to tie it together. In my eyes, there's probably going to be at least one big play, right? And when I think about that, when I look at Devonta Smith, he could easily connect on a 45 or a 50 yarder on one pass, right? So, I mean, I kind of want to lean toward the over 62.5 on Smith, but I don't feel good enough about it because I'm not sure about how they're going to pass. But if I'm going most receiving yards, that's where I am going to roll the dice a little bit with either Devonta Smith or like a Mecole Hardman. Again, Hardman catches one or two, and but I think there I might go with Devonta Smith.
You can take both
just because the odds are better, right? I like the odds there, or Hardman. I'll roll on those two, and that's just based on return.
And right? I'll give you the North Carolina baby blue color to indicate you.
There you go. That's easy enough.
I'm of course going to take Valdez-Scantling in the over 36.5 yards. I'm of course going to take MVS here in the plus 600 for the most receiving yards. I was so tempted to do this, and I don't like it. I feel like the Eagles are going to make sure Travis Kelce is not the guy who beats them. I mean, that's got to be what they're preaching at practice. Make sure this guy does not beat you. Yeah. I'll make it interesting here. I'll take a flyer on AJ Brown, and I think I'll leave it at. You know what? For with these odds, I'm also going to throw a bone to Dallas Goedert. So look,
give one to Goddard, and while you're playing with it, go up to your Kadarius Toney and give me the under. Tony's a guy that I think he could be a difference maker, but he could also just disappear. He could be non-existent, right? He couldn't have no receptions.
That's one thing I'll say about all of the Chiefs receivers, literally all of them. Anyone on this list, you could say, excluding Travis Kelce, because they're going to make him part of the game plan, even if he's double covered the whole game.
Yeah.
All of these other guys, Valdez-Scantling, Juju, Hardman, Toney, all of them, Sky Moore, all of them could disappear completely. You might not hear their name one time on the broadcast. Or, again, we saw Marquez Valdez-Scantling. He was basically the MVP of the AFC Championship game.
Right.
So you're going to get – I feel like they're all boom or bust, all of the Chiefs receivers individually.
Right, and now, from a fantasy football standpoint this year, I had to watch Juju Smith-Schuster more than I wanted to. And there were a lot of games where Juju becomes his go-to guy. It becomes the possession guy underneath when the passing game is your running game, right? So there's times that Juju, will be that guy underneath and just catching, pass after pass after pass. I don't know if I go for yardage on him, but I think receptions, Juju's a guy who could jump up on you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. And also a guy like Jerick McKinnon could easily get involved in the receptions game. We do have some receptions on here. I'm gonna skip this part here.
Yep, that's cool.
So let's throw the receptions in here too. What you were just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's with that one, and I'm gonna of course do this as well. I do think he'll Valdez-Scantling. That's my boy from USF by way of Notre Dame, by way of St. Petersburg, Florida.
I mean, Travis Kelce 6.5, and look at the odds on the over. I mean, or the under. You're even getting the under, and geez, so they're really leaning heavy. He's catching 7 balls or more, and I mean, I guess that's just what it is.
Yeah, it's. And there's a guy who caught over 100 passes in the regular season, so obviously he gets his catches. But and he's got 21 in 2 games in the playoffs.
So it looks like it's a silly bet not to take the over, huh? But it's for
like
me, risk reward. It's just there's no payback for it.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that boat,
right?
And it just seems, again, I'm not a defensive coordinator here, but I would just be sitting in that meeting room say, Kelsey is not going to beat us. It needs to be Tony, Smith-Schuster, Valdez-Scantling. They're going to get single covered. Kelsey is not going to beat us in this game. I'm again, my favorite Super Bowl. I'm used to listening to a head coach mic'd up screaming, Dallas Clark cannot beat us. You cannot let their best player beat us. It's a sin to let their best player go run free. That's the way that the Eagles, and by the way, Dallas Clark had a great game, but that's the way they need to defend Travis Kelce in my eyes. It's do not let the guy who is a sure thing get open. Make the guys who haven't been in this spotlight before, make them make the play.
Yeah, and then the Smith and the Brown at 5.5. Those are both, I mean, you got to figure the Eagles really don't. I mean, there's probably somebody going to show up like a Quez Watkins or somebody like that. But, I mean, those really are the only two receivers that they kind of live and die with outside of Goddard.
And
but I don't feel good about them.
Yeah, they're a tough team to – we don't know. And look, Steve even, when we were doing our Super Bowl preview show, he was even open about we don't really know what the passing game is going to look like because we haven't seen it since Jalen Hurts got hurt.
Yeah.
We haven't seen him throw the ball because they didn't need to throw the ball. Obviously in the first two games, look, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, 8 catches in 2 games, AJ Brown 7. So, they'd both be well under 5.5. By that standard, but
again, they haven't had to, right? So you never.
And
Kansas City was a team that could make them, so it's really going to be interesting.
And look, if I'm Steve Spagnuolo, and thank God I'm not, I'd be rolling double coverage on AJ Brown. The same thing I'd be yelling about Travis Kelce. Do not let him beat us. Let's keep him under control. I think less of Devontae Smith than some people. I don't think he's at the same level of an AJ Brown. He's good player, but I think you can get away with mostly single covering him. Mostly, maybe some safety help.
Your first 5 yards are crucial. Get into Smith quick, right? Because if he gets around you, you're going to have trouble in space. But AJ can do both those things, and AJ will handle you at the line. It's weird, though. I know we're looking at the number of touchdown passes coming up, right? And just an odds thing that throws out there. Wouldn't you think that if you're willing to put down money in the Super Bowl that a quarterback is going to throw 6+ touchdowns, there should probably be a better return. It's not like it's an awful return. You're 40-1 and 60-1, but geez, dude. 6 has – okay, as much as I love football, I suck with stats and memory. Has any quarterback ever thrown 6 touchdowns in a Super Bowl?
I want to say, this is purely going off my head, I want to say Steve Young may have against the Chargers in 94.
Or maybe like the Redskins when they blew out the Broncos back in the day. Doug Williams was the MVP, but I don't think he got 6.
Because I think that was the Super Bowl where Timmy Smith went off and he had a bunch of rushing yards and touchdowns. I think Steve Young did. I might be wrong. Viewers can feel free to correct me, but you
are correct, sir.
Yeah, and it might be the only
6
one.
passing touchdowns. That's it. Against the Chargers in 95.
Yeah, the Stan Humphrey-led Chargers with the great Natron Means in the backfield.
Natron means business.
I was rooting for the Chargers in that game.
Me too.
All right, the Niners are an old division rival.
What jumps at you?
Man, none of them. I think as far as making a bet, this is where I'd go. Is Patrick Mahomes throwing 4? Because I like the return. I think probably it's more likely he throws 3, but I don't feel like, I don't like these odds, honestly.
They're not good odds, but is this an exact 2? You know what I'm saying? Like if I choose 1 and he throws 2, then I'm screwed, right? So
you do have the option. So here's you could pick multiple ones of these, and I guess there's some logic to that to an extent.
I'll take Hurts with 2.
Yeah, I mean, mathematically, if you are sure that Jalen Hurts is going to throw one or two, and you bet on both, at
Yeah, then
one
you
you're
could
going to come
win.
out even. At two, you're going to come out ahead.
See, you think ahead of the game like that. That's the smart betting way to go through this.
Yeah, I'm going to try not to get into that mode right now.
Shutting off the
But
beautiful mind before you go to the sports book.
yeah, because look, you can hedge your bets and everything, but is that fun content? Us sitting
Nah.
here like, oh, I'm gonna bet on one or two because
Yep.
I come out even. I can't lose unless he throws, of course, 0 or 3 plus. So I mean, you still can lose. It just hedges your bets a little bit.
Yep.
Um, I did leave one defensive individual tackles and assists on here for you, but
Yep.
before
Yep.
we get to that, this is to me, I hate bets like this so much. I would never bet on this because to me, this half with the most passing yards screams either that if you're betting the second half and overtime, which obviously most people are and
Right.
should, because that's the odds, as you can see by the numbers here.
Yep.
But on the flip side, if you think the game's a blowout, you bet the first half and you walk away happy with a better return.
Yep.
I'd never touch this because I don't. This is solely to me in my head reliant on the flow of the game, and I don't like to gamble on how the flow of the game goes.
See, I'm gonna ride how I feel the game's gonna roll, right? Which is to me, if this plays the way that I look at, Jalen Hurts is gonna have more passing yards in the first half than he is the second. That way you get a little bit of money coming back from it. And again, if it plays the way that the Eagles that I'd like to see, if the Eagles are going to win, in the second half, you're controlling the clock.
All right, I got some defense for you here.
Yeah.
I only kept our University of Florida boy here, who I know you love going into this game. C.J.
Yep.
Gardner-Johnson. Do you want the over or under on tackles plus
I'm going to
total
go over.
tackles?
I'm going to go over and assist. So I get the assist
Yeah,
too.
and
so
assist.
all in
Yep.
all, right. So yeah, I'll take the over.
Yeah,
There's just too many damn receivers for KC, and he's going to be all over that whole defensive backfield. I can see his head in a lot of plays.
Yeah. I'm going to avoid it. I'm going to avoid this one.
Yeah.
But I figured you would want the over. That's why I kept him on
I
there.
appreciate that one.
Sacks. I was so tempted to go Chris Jones. The whole story is never had a sack, and then he got a couple against the Bengals. But this, I don't like getting less than what I bet on that on an individual player betting on sacks.
Yeah,
that doesn't seem like a smart bet just because of that. Same with Hassan Reddick, who was another guy I was thinking I'd toss around. So I am. I'll tell you who I'm going with here is Brandon Graham. And I'm going with Javon Hargrave.
Okay.
Getting a sack.
And I'm going to go Cox and Sweat. Cox Sweat.
But we know where Jeremiah's going to be drunk yelling Cox Sweat on the TV in the fourth quarter. I need a Cox Sweat sack.
Cox Sweat sack. What? Oh, but look, I think what we talked about the other day is the way that the Eagles rotate those defensive linemen. I think we're all in the right spots, right? I mean, like keeping guys like Fletcher Cox fresh with Sue and the other guys in there. And I think I could see a couple of coverage sacks coming or just scrambles, right? So you're just grabbing the scramble. That's almost why I want to feel like Frank Clark, but I just
don't love the return, especially on Chris Jones. But
Chris Jones.
I don't even feel like 130. I don't feel like that's great.
No.
And I think George Karlaftis was on here, and I took him off, but he had better odds. But all right, this one's a fun one. And look, if it's these are the MVP here. And look, we've got a long list of names, as you can see, going all the way down to Michael Burton winning MVP. You get very good odds. I think that's 3,000 to 1.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, but you're also crazy if you bet on it.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Obviously the favorites are, and the odds are it's going to be one of these two guys because that's the way people vote for MVP in these games.
Yeah.
However, look, if one of these mid-range or long shots or deep long shots hit, that could be what determines the winner of our little contest here. So,
100%.
any bets jumping out that you want to take here? Why don't we do you want to pick 3 each and
Let's
just
go
take turns
3.
going back and forth?
So we get a chance on that, right?
Yeah, I'll give you the first pick here.
Look, I'm going to go Jalen Hurts just because. I mean, you're getting a positive on it, and dude, that Patriots Super Bowl, where God, I can't even remember his name right now, but the running back who just went off, and it happened in the Chiefs too. The Chiefs last Super Bowl. When you see guys who obviously outplayed and earned the MVP, and it's just given to the quarterback. I mean, it's really that bad. I forget. You know what I'm talking about? The Patriots running back. Guy was out of USC, I think. USC. He caught. Like, it was insane.
James White had a great game.
Yes, that's my guy. That's what I'm talking. James White
and Malcolm Butler when he got those 2 picks against the Seahawks. I think Brady even ended up giving him the vehicle he won for winning MVP because it should have gone to Malcolm Butler. But yeah, they default to the quarterback, and you can see who I went ahead and highlighted as my first pick.
So you can tell where we're going for the game picks.
You can tell where we're going for the game picks.
I'll take look, on the long shot. I'll take Kenneth Gainwell. I think he's going to get involved running the ball and catching the ball. I like the odds, and
I like that one. I'm of course I said it, MVS MVP.
Yeah,
I'm taking him. Look, the sad thing, especially with Valdez-Scantling, and really I would say with any Chiefs receiver outside of maybe Kelsey, if any of these receivers go off, the odds are good that Mahomes is still going to get the award for throwing the ball to him.
It's going to be tough.
But at least receivers do sometimes win the MVP in the Super Bowl. They never win it in the regular season. But there's been a lot of receivers who have won an MVP in the Super Bowl. So
Julian Edelman, Cooper Kupp, right?
Yeah. Last year, receiver won MVP.
But
it happens. There. Yeah, Santonio Holmes. I think Hines Ward, did he win it too?
Hines Ward won one too. But it's generally, when it comes down to it, a couple wide receivers mixed in, quarterbacks, or a DB that makes some big plays somewhere along the way. So again, I'm just going to keep banging that drum, and I just like it enough to go to Gardner Johnson again. I'm just all over him this Super Bowl, and he could end up burning me the way Eli Apple burnt Cincy. But I'm just going to keep riding that train. It's worth.
You're going to look like a genius when he gets a pick and Isaac starts playing you singing Chauncey's praises.
Yeah, when Chauncey comes through, then there it goes. What do you like out of the deep shots?
I think the smart play here is to go with I think you're on the right track with Gardner Johnson. It's got to be a guy who's going to be able to get his hands on the ball. So out of the deep long shots, I think Bradbury is probably the guy, because if he gets a couple picks, and look, also it matters when you get them, because I think they determine the MVP before the end of the game. So especially if he gets him early, or a pick six potentially early in the game. I did say Mahomes would throw an interception. Yeah. So I'm hedging my bet.
Just by natural, the secondary of the Eagles are going to have a lot more opportunities to make plays, I think. Again, KC's going to be throwing the ball a lot.
Is there anybody else? We each pick 3, but is there anyone else you want to throw a bet on in here, or you want to move on?
No, I think that's it for me, man. I'm going on the favorites, the long shots, and then going down to the deep ones. The mid-range one to me, I just don't think any of those guys, I think they just get overshadowed no matter what. Right.
I'm so tempted to go for this one, AJ
Yeah.
Brown. I'm very tempted to go. You know what? I will go for Chris Jones here. I like the return. If he ends up getting 2-3 sacks in this game, like he did in the AFC Championship game, I could see them giving a guy who, until that last game against the Bengals, didn't have a postseason sack. If he gets 2 or 3, I could see them throwing him a bone.
That could be the sentimental on top of all that. So I'm going to come back on that one then and give me Hassan Reddick.
Yep,
Still a good return, and you got a defense the same. I'll go the same strategy, right? Get a couple sacks, make a couple big plays, and maybe Reddick comes out there. But I think that's good.
So if you look at it, we both have a quarterback, we both have a pass rush guy, we both have a DB, we both have a guy we think might make a big play or a couple. To win MVP, you need more than one big play. I think we have similar strategies, and
and we've got the board covered.
You went 4 Eagles. I went only 3 Chiefs.
Yeah, well, because
it's a little more than you.
But again, the other Eagle that you chose was based on a Chief bet. I mean, again, the secondary is just going to have more of a chance to make a play. I mean, it would be hard to go to anybody in KC's secondary. If anybody in their secondary wins the MVP, it's going to be an enormous long shot of whoever, I think we're on the right path.
Yeah. No, that's a Jordan Davis. I thought he was out with an injury. Never mind.
Yeah. All right. First maybe not. Touchdown scorer.
Yeah, I hate.
Are tough.
I hate these bets. By the way.
Yeah, me too.
Because you're betting on the first touchdown. We've got also the over/under yardage, whether it's a pass or any other TD, the jersey number odd and even, and the jersey number of first TD scorer over under 11.5. I love these are the kind of bets right here that I love because there is math. You can do your research on who's what number and all this.
Yeah.
You can see who's evens and who's odds and stack them up, but it's entirely random. I mean, for the most, it seems like it's pretty random. Any as far as first TD scorer or for jersey number, passing any other TD, yardage of the TD, anything jump out at you?
I like the jersey number of being over 11.5. Just feel like most playmakers, that's where we're going to be. You've got some in the play there, but the Kelce's and the other, and your running backs. And then I don't think it's going to be a passing touchdown. I don't think the first touchdown will be a passing touchdown.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that one too. I don't know if these odds seem very generous considering one of these teams is much more of a running football team.
Yeah.
The odds seem very generous that it's giving you better than even odds on any other. I was very close to going with this. I think I'm going to stay out of that. And I don't like these odds either when you're looking at individual players, to be quite honest. To me, if this was, one more 0 here, I would easily throw a bet on Valdez-Scantling.
Yeah, right.
But it's like, I don't know that it's worth the bet. Kelce, kind of like, close to him also. But yeah, I'm going to resist, and just for random sake, I'll throw down on an even, like we're
Yeah,
why not?
Sounds good. 50-50 shot.
Yeah, why not? Well, yeah, and look, they're giving you better than, and I know Travis Kelce's an odd number, Valdez-Scantling's an odd number, Jalen Hurts is an even number, so if he gets a rushing touchdown, I'm golden. Right? He's number 2, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't pay attention to players' numbers much anymore. That's kind of a.
I don't either. And it's gotten a little more interesting now that it's wide ass open, right?
Yeah,
You used
I
to
think
know.
that's
I
a
mean, if
is
you're a
that a
running
kid
back, you
thing?
were above 11, you know?
Yeah, I feel like that's a kid thing. Like when I was a kid, I knew everyone's numbers. Now I don't
Right.
care.
Well, again, it was just so much easier, right? Like
Yeah.
running backs were 20s and 30s, right?
Hmm.
QBs were in the teens or single digit, and now you've got it all over the place. But you know
Yeah.
what? Yeah. What's in a number?
Yeah,
Um,
a receiver, you used to have a 1 in 10 chance of guessing his number correctly
yeah,
because you knew it
you're
was between
80.
80 and 89.
That's it, right? So, all right. Let's see.
Do you want these are just player TD props here. We've got the first Eagles, the first Chief, and the last TD scorer in the game. You know what they don't have here that I don't like is the field option
Yeah,
because
you're right.
I feel like a lot of times the last score in the Super Bowl, and maybe I'm just thinking of Tracy Porter with his pick six, but that's what I'm thinking of. The
Yeah,
field means a defense scores a touchdown.
yeah.
And I feel like that happens more than just in Super Bowl 44. I feel like that. I think Willie Brown did it for the Raiders against the Vikings back in Super Bowl 11.
Yeah,
Um,
right. I'll play around with will they score a touchdown, right? That sort of stuff. You're over under touchdowns, but trying to choose who's going to be the first to do it and who's going to be the last. That to me is it's one of the biggest wide open crapshoots. It just So
yeah,
I got nothing.
yeah. Yeah, I think I'm there with you. I'm tempted to throw it like a Boston Scott who's got a couple touchdowns in 2 games, but is that really like that? Doesn't seem smart.
Well,
Um,
I mean, yeah, because at the goal line, he's not going to be the guy with it. Like, if I was going to throw anything at this, it would be under the same guise of what you were talking about before to go for the swing for the fences and like take Calcaterra, right? Take Michael Burton, right? I mean, just go to the deepest guy on the books and throw one at it and
yeah,
see what happens. Because I do feel like a lot of times too, and we talked about it in the Super Bowl preview, busting away from the props under the radar guys make an impact because of, as you were saying before, don't let Kelsey beat us. Don't let Kelsey beat us. Plus, I guarantee you that the Chiefs don't have a hell of a lot of footage or tape on Calcaterra, and same with the Eagles don't have a ton of footage and tape for plays designed for Michael Burton. So you can slide one in.
did you see who I just threw a bit?
Noah Gray.
Noah Gray. If I lose because of Noah Gray, I swear to God. But if he scores a touchdown, I might win the whole thing. He's got a couple catches. He's got a run for 0 yards. I think he did that sneak play and didn't get the first down. Might have been against. I think it was against Jacksonville that he did that. So we'll see. I'll throw that out there. They do have
it's a little weird the no Eagles touchdown 2,500.
they have the defenses in here. It's strange to me that they don't have
Individual
defenses in the last scorer of the game because I would have jumped on that. I'm sure you can somewhere. If you're so inclined, I'm sure you can find that somewhere. But yeah, they have the defenses and no touchdowns as options in the first touchdown, just not the last touchdown, which again, I think betting on the last touchdown is kind of a fool's errand.
Yeah.
So here we go. Noah Gray, win me this contest.
Go get him.
It'll be a great clip when Noah Gray scores a touchdown, being like, Jeff knew it.
Look at that.
More TD props. Yes. Here we go. You got an over-under on total touchdowns, over-under on longest, shortest. This one's always a tough one.
Uh-huh.
This is when you start arguing whether it's at the 1 or the 2 yard line.
Right.
Like that's the shortest one I will never touch because when the ball is literally at the 1.5 yard line, you're not 100% sure if it's going to get credit for 1 or 2 yards. It's kind of discretionary sometimes.
Yeah, somebody in the inner circle of sportsbook kingdom makes that call. Let's see which way it goes.
Then they do have these other fun ones: kicker, punt return, passing TDs by a non-quarterback, interception, defensive or special teams touchdown, which I feel like the odds are not great. Two and a
No.
half to 1. It's not a great
No.
return for a D or special teams touchdown.
See,
I'm
this
going to
is
do
what I don't get.
something.
Okay, so let's go with this real quick. Like the over under, I think comes at like 51 is what we're looking at, right?
Yeah.
And so again, under going over 5.5 touchdowns for the Eagles, you're going minus 130. I mean, 5.5 touchdowns for the Eagles.
Well, this is combined. This is
Oh,
combined.
total touchdons. Sorry.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
I was like, shit. That's okay.
That's a lot of points.
I was like, this ain't adding up to me. Okay. So that's total. So in that, look, I think I would take the over there. I think it's going to be a shootout. It's at least going to be in the 20s. That covers us to six scores.
I'm tempted to take the under there, but I'm not that sold on it. I am going to do some stupid things here, which is this. Will I get any real return from these bets? No. But
I'll take them with you. I'll take them with you because
right.
I don't. Look, I think
I'll make them yellow.
It's up to the Eagles, right? That this whole passing touchdown by non-quarterback will come into play, right? For the Philadelphia special and Nick Foles and the boys. Outside of that, how often is a non-quarterback throwing a touchdown in a Super Bowl?
That would be an interesting one to
right. That'd
up.
be something to see, right? It hasn't been often.
It's definitely happened. I just can't really think of a time.
Yeah,
but I'm sure it's happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, because the Philly special was even a 2-point conversion, wasn't it?
Oh, that was right because it was spun out to
right?
Foles on the other side, right?
I think it was, if I'm remembering correctly.
How about no touchdown? Like it.
I saw that.
Yeah, that's the other stuff that gets me in my head. I've got to go back and you know what? I'm just going to watch a lot of Super Bowl pregame or NFL Network tomorrow, and it'll answer all my curiosities. This sheet has got me to that because I'm like, has there ever been a Super Bowl without a touchdown? I can't imagine that there has, but there maybe was. I'm a shitty historian, man.
I don't believe that there has been a Super Bowl without a touchdown.
I can't imagine.
The Patriots Rams came pretty close a couple of years
really
ago.
Close.
That was 13-3.
Yeah.
I do not believe that that's happened. There's been some ugly Super Bowls. Super Bowl 5, I believe it was, with the Colts and the Cowboys was hideous. Because I was obviously alive and watching that game. But they still had at least I think they each had a touchdown in that game, if I recall correctly. I think it was 16-13. Ugly game, but still touchdowns. I believe that was the Super Bowl where the guy who just got inducted into the Hall of Fame won MVP, even though the Cowboys lost.
Yeah.
That was the game.
So wait, on the touchdown props, the other one that I think is weird, and maybe it's in another category going down, but first touchdown. First touchdown being not the team, but will it be a rush? Will it be a pass? Will it be or first score, basically, right? Was that somewhere in here? A first score one? Did we miss that one or go over them?
I don't think we've gotten there yet, but I do believe it's on here.
All right, I got you.
Here's some crazy prop bets.
Yay.
Let's start with the big one. The coin toss, heads and tails.
Heads never fails.
Well, good. I'll go with tails. And if this is, if you see me mark the wrong color, let me know.
Yep, there you go. You're on the green.
I'm a mess. Okay.
Yeah, I'll take the heads.
I don't know how to use this computer anymore.
He's getting down there late. There it is. And blue.
Come on.
There it is. Good enough. Yeah, good enough.
All right. And I'm guessing I could go ahead and put that down.
We're going to go and go. I'll go with the Eagles and you'll go with the Chiefs. There we go.
Yeah, that one is we got tails and Chiefs and heads and Eagles. If a coin toss determines the winner of this competition, I vote we punish Isaac.
Right? Yes. All right, so let me see.
Opening kickoff a touchback. Yes, I'll go with that. I feel like, however, I do feel like, every kicker can kick the ball into the end zone. They probably will. I do feel like there's a little ego thing with the return man where if it's at all returnable, They want to do that Devin Hester run back the opening
You know what?
kickoff for a touchdown.
I'm going to take the no on that just for that reason, because I do feel like you've got some guys who can return and create some havoc a little bit with these teams. And I think it's more of that, how do I get the energy going, right? So you're right. If I got a chance to do something with it. So, I mean, it's worth a shot at it.
Yeah, and I'll take a weird one here just because, to make it interesting. I'll take Jalen Hurts completing his first pass. I think for confidence purposes, you give him an easy completion to start the game. He hasn't had to throw the ball. He hasn't thrown the ball much. Give him a nice dump off underneath for his first pass.
And
get him started.
Yeah, I'll take Mahomes incomplete because I get a positive out of it, and I feel like
See, now we'll be less drunk screaming in the beginning of the game.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to bet on any of these. Of course, if you want to, you're free to. But
look, I'm going to take first Chiefs player with a reception is going to be Kelce, and I think that is more about. I mean, look, you're getting 2-to-1 odds, and I think that is more of a. I think that's more of a. You're going to try to take him away from us. We're going to show you we're not going to let you take him away from us, sort of thing. Plus, Kelce just catches everything that goes his way, it seems. So, I'll take that one.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad bet. These are the individual game type things. There's a lot of crazy ones here. I'm not going to read them all.
Yeah.
Do you want any of these at all? I think a lot of these are kind of. We don't know if it's going to be 3rd and inches or 3rd and 22. It's one of those things. I love ones like this. First drive ends at a field goal, but does not enter the red zone.
I like that one more. I do. So if you
give
me a crazy one, give me that.
Okay, you want the yes?
Yeah, I want the yes. I mean, you 6-to-1, right? I mean, the hell.
Yeah, and I get. I will. I'll do this one just to make it interesting. And so I have more to root for in the beginning of the game. Play of 20 yards and a TD on the first drive of the game. So we both have something riding on the first drive here.
Love it.
Score in the first 6 minutes of the game. First score of the game being a touchdown or field goal. I'll jump on this one.
That's what I wanted.
Okay, I'll give us both this one then.
Yeah, because look, I mean, I was just thinking. I mean, I know it's only happened 3 times, but there's some of the other props that you can find out there if you're doing this. And again, you're a donkey like me and just trying to play around to throw a little bit of money to win a lot. 3 times the safety's been the first score, and usually you can get some crazy odds on that.
Yeah,
I mean,
now
you'll get 50-to-1 or something. There you go.
Exactly 50-to-1 for both teams.
So, is it worth throwing down a 10 to see if that comes back to you? It is what it is.
This one's an interesting one, too. And I feel like, obviously, Philadelphia bringing the sack. The return, to me, is interesting. Maybe that's normal, that a sack occurs before a touchdown. I feel like normally I would expect a touchdown before a sack, though.
Yeah, and in this game, dude, you got 2 mobile quarterbacks. I mean, if Mahomes' ankle's feeling all right, I mean, even if you blow up the line, you've got guys who can buy themselves enough time to get rid of the ball. I feel like, right? I mean, they're not statues back there. So no. Mahomes and Hurts aren't easy guys to bring down on the sack. So that is a weird return, though.
Yeah. Late game props. I mean, again, I think most of these are foolish-ish.
Mm-hmm.
I love this one, but I'm not going to bet it. But a lead change in the final minute of the 4th quarter. I hope so. I'm not going to bet on it. Score on the final play of the game. That's an interesting one. Last play of the game is a QB rush. Wow. I'll take that one. Take a knee.
Yeah, that's right. Just taking the knee. I was looking at it like, why would that be? Yeah, give me the take a knee. Last play will be a knee.
Yeah, and that's why the odds are so.
Yeah, skewed. That's where you're skewed. I'm with you now.
Yeah, I do think there's a decent. Now look, my prediction 27-13. If the Eagles have the ball, it's not going to be a knee, even if it's even if they run the ball to run out the clock because they don't have time. probably going to just hand it to Miles Sanders or Gainwell. They're not going to take a knee.
Yep.
So that could come back to bite you. But yeah, obviously those odds being what it are, most Super Bowls do end in a quarterback taking a knee. I think seems like it. This one I'm definitely going under field goal attempts.
Yeah, under 4.5. That's a lot.
I don't.
Well, you know what? Give me this. Just give me the under on the under 3.5 made.
Okay, I'll take the attempts. You take the made.
Yeah.
The Eagles don't seem to like to kick field goals, and I don't disagree. You and I have had this discussion when we've been broadcasting games. I'm a go for it guy, and you're a kick the field goal guy. The Eagles are definitely a go for it team, and I feel like Andy Reid, especially in the Super Bowl, probably will say that too. Yeah. I mean, he has coached 3 Super Bowls. I should probably know his tendencies better in that game, but I don't. So I'm gonna stick with the under.
I like the yardage of all the field goals. That
combined, isn't that interesting? Combined. Yeah, it's that's an interesting one. And frankly, I will say this: I'm not going to bet it because I don't think there's going to be many attempts, but I feel like if there are a lot of attempts, they're going to come from 40 to 50 yards because they're going to go for it if they have the ball inside the 10-yard line on 4th down. I don't think they're going to kick a short field goal.
So, I flip the other way almost. I feel like these two teams, if you're at midfield on a 4th and 1 or a 4th and 2, and you're at the 40, you're at the 40, right? That instead of pulling the trigger on a 55-yarder, that they're more apt to go for it to convert. So for me, I'll go with the longest field goal yardage. I'll take the under 48.5. I don't think there'll be a kick.
This one right here.
I don't think there'll be a kick over 48.5. There won't be a 49-yarder.
All right. I like it. I'll throw this one out there then. Just so we both have money on the field goal games. I will say over 54.5. I will see Harrison Butker kicking a 56-yard field goal in this game.
You get a much better payoff than I do.
I know. That's why I took it.
Oh, wait a second. Pull back up for a second.
Yeah.
Longest field goal made. No. Longest field goal made versus game total points.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's an interesting one, isn't it?
Yeah. Because I think it's going over 51. And so I'm going to go with the total points are going to be higher. Yeah.
And what the hell? I'll double down on my field goal and my under.
There you go. Now we're finding it.
Yeah, we've got a lot invested in these field goals. I like this one because my score would be much cleaner with what I'm saying if there was a mixed extra point or two, but I'm not going to bet it. This one's very interesting, and I actually read last year, I think it was, most games have 3 unanswered. Now, this is actually a poorly worded here.
Right.
It's 3 consecutive scores by one team. It's not unanswered because if the other team scores, it is answered. So technically, so I don't think this is actually worded correctly from a.
So I started to say I don't see anybody getting 3 scores up in this.
Yeah, the way it's worded is 3 on like the last 3 of the game would basically,
or somebody comes out and you go up 13-0 with a couple of field goals and a touchdown. I don't see that at all. I see this is going to be punch for punch. I mean, they're going to go back and forth a little.
Yeah, there's some interesting ones. I'm not jumping in any of these. Actually, seconds of shortest scoring drive. I'll hop on this one. Yeah, I'm sure I must be wrong considering you're actually getting better than even odds, just barely. Yeah. I'm sure I'm not thinking, I guess it's end of half kind of last minute drive field goal type situation that they're looking at.
Yeah. Look, I'm going to say, the 2-point conversion attempted. I feel like in all the football I watched this year, I don't remember many games where a 2-point conversion wasn't attempted. So I don't understand why it wouldn't be in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Like,
especially with the way
with
Philly
these two
plays.
teams, right?
Yeah. Not touching this one because the odds.
Right.
First team to score, first team to 10 points, first team to 20 points. I'll pop on this one.
Okay.
Get even odds on the Chiefs. I like that. See, this is where my math break. Even if I think the Eagles are, I don't like the odds. I think the Chiefs are, so I like even odds. I don't like not getting even odds on the Eagles being the first team. I'm not going to touch the first turnover committed. I'm not going to touch the sack because I feel like it's too random. This one also, more rushing yards. I think it's, boy, if the Chiefs win this one, they're going to blow out the Eagles.
Yeah, it's going to be a long day in Philly if that comes through, man.
Yeah. I hope so.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to bet on it because I want to win. Longest touchdown, longest made field goal. Yeah, I would go Chiefs if it was even odds.
And I don't even know why this jumped at me, but more net yards, I'll take the Chiefs. I feel like they lose by a score, but I think they will. They could put up more points. I'm just banking on them turning it over or coming up short on some drives.
Yeah, I like your thinking with that. I like your thinking with that, and you get better odds. That's interesting. I'm going to stay off that one. Longest kick return, longest play for scrimmage, longest touchdown drive. I did keep this one on here. Travis Kelce receiving yards minus 6.5 versus Jason Kelce snaps played. I love that one.
I wish I knew more about Jason Kelce.
God, I don't have an answer to that. And look, I would love to bet on this one, except for I'm going to be sitting there in the fourth quarter trying to count how many snaps the Eagles have had on offense, and it would drive me insane.
Yeah.
I do like this one, but I'm not betting on it.
Longest play from scrimmage. You want to run back up to that? I'll take the Eagles on that.
All right.
I just feel like there's more explosive playmakers for the Eagles. The Chiefs are going to be more methodical. Yeah. Unless McCole Hardman takes 190, who knows?
I'll hop on this one and give A.J. Brown over Devontae Smith the first reception. I feel like they don't want an A.J. Brown temper tantrum in the Super Bowl.
You know what? Just for the fun of it, give me Devontae Smith. So now we're waiting on whoever catches that one, Jeff.
We got a lot riding on the first possession. I feel like
firing the first shot, man. Who gets that catch?
All right, we got. Look, I feel like this one. I'm probably going to be wrong because I feel like this is too easy of a bet. Over 5.5 sacks. You got a team that is one of the most prolific sacking teams. And look, mobile quarterbacks, as mobile as Jalen Hurts is, they do take sacks sometimes because they are mobile. They stay alive in the pocket, and he's only taken 2 so far in the postseason, but he hasn't thrown the ball much. He was sacked 38 times in 15 games in the regular season. So I mean, including Gardner Minshew, they gave up 44 sacks over the course of the season. It's more than 3 a game. They get more than 3 a game defensively. So I feel like
pass rush has been coming on. Casey's pass rush has been coming on.
Yeah,
and you know what the Eagles do. You know what? I'll take the over the interceptions. I'll take over 1.5. I think each one of these guys puts at least one in the other team's hands.
Yeah, I like the return on that one.
Yeah.
All right. Here's some interesting ones here. The result props as we wind down here. Winning margin. You've got all your scoring, margins here. You got overtime. Team scores first wins game. Team scores last wins the game. The first, whatever. And comeback win from double-digit deficit. I'm going to ride on that one. I don't think it's going to happen. But
it's good odds.
I like the odds. And look, 10-0 is not. I mean, it's happened quite a few times in the Super Bowl, coming back from 10 points. I mean, it's no 28-3 Atlanta Falcons, but the Saints came back from 10-0 against the Colts. The Redskins came back from 10-0. They were the Redskins back then. Against the Broncos in that game that they won by 30 or 40 points. So I'll take that one on a whim because I don't think that going down 10-0 is going to be a death shot to either one of these teams, especially not Kansas City, who, they're planning on trying to throw the ball and score a lot of points anyways.
Well, you and we talked about in the Super Bowl preview, right? I said I think that's the difference so far in this postseason is Philly does come out swinging hard. I think I made the Rocky analogy, right? But when they did that to San Francisco and they did that to the Giants, they couldn't answer. I don't think KC doesn't answer the bell. So, I mean, I could see Philly getting up and then, from 10 points down, KC comes back. I just don't think they're going to win. So for me on this one, I'm going to take will the team that scores last win? No. And I'm going to take Philly wins between 7 and 12. I could see KC getting a drive to put it back to within a score at the end of the game, and Philly just holding on to it and grinding it out. I was going to say between 1 and 6, but that just feels like I like a return of 500 more than I do the 295.
Time mark this bet. I just want to make this bet just to piss off Steve.
All right.
I got KC 13-18.
106-18.
Again, some of these are ridiculous.
QB has those, yeah. Longest rushing yard for a QB.
I feel like this one should be over, but I also don't know.
I feel like Hurts runs a lot, but does he bust off 20-yarders? Like, that's where I'm a little lost on this. I almost feel to go under the 15.5.
His long in the postseason, again, they're not running him regularly, is 14. His long in the regular season was 42, but obviously that's a long out of 15 games. It's not a statistical thing to necessarily
I'll take the under. I'll take the under on the longest QB rush. It's straight money, but I think I feel all right with that one.
Yeah. I don't want to touch this one, but I'm tempted to. The under 14.5 largest lead of the game. I don't think it gets that out of hand, but I don't like the return that much. You got. Let's go ahead and pass over these for time here.
Yeah.
Lead change in the second half. No OT. That's an interesting one. I don't know that I feel. You know what? I'm going to say no.
Put me on that too. I don't think there will be. I don't think there'll be a change. Or you know what? No. Just to go the opposite. Give me the yes, because I'm still.
You think it's going to be more shot to shot?
It's going to be shot to shot. So I can see that happening. So let's go with that.
Yeah. No. I to be honest, from a guy who doesn't care for either one of these teams, I would prefer that to be correct. Yeah. I would like it to be a nice back and forth, game. If you bet on the national anthem length, you are a degenerate gambler and you need help. There are phone numbers to call.
Hi, my name is Jeremiah, and I'm a degenerate gambler. Give me the over. He's a country music guy singing the national anthem on TV. We're going to stretch this thing. It's going
I'll be honest,
over that.
I don't even know who's singing the national anthem.
I just saw it today. I can't remember his name right now. Luke Bryan. It's a country singer, and,
I've heard of him.
They're going to get America.
Yeah, what the hell? I'll take the under.
All right.
I think he's too patriotic to showboat.
Oh. Now, this one's interesting on the halftime. I saw this one before.
How Rihanna
performed? How many songs are performed?
You know what? I will say this. I've always had an issue with these things. You know who could clean up on this? Rihanna.
The artist.
Her
Right?
crew.
Right.
You know, there are hundreds of people who know how many songs there are going to be. They
Yeah.
know which first song is going to be. I don't even know. To be honest, I only left this in there so I could count and see how many of these songs I knew.
I was just gonna say, dude, I don't know that I know 8 Rihanna songs.
I know Umbrella.
Yep. Uh Better Have My Diamonds. I know
Better Have
Diamonds.
My Money. I know Better Have My Money.
Okay. I
I know
know
Diamonds.
Diamond. Yep.
Love the Way
Uh
You Lie. Isn't that with
oh,
Eminem?
yeah, that's with Eminem. There's
Is
always a
Eminem going
chance
to be in
Em finds his
back-to-back
way
Super
into
Bowls?
this. Yeah. Only Girl in the World. I think I know that one.
I
Yeah, I
probably
don't
know
know,
a
dude.
few more of these, but I'm at 4.
Yeah, I got nothing, man.
Yeah, I'm not going to bet on any of this, but
No.
I will say there's a flaw in Vegas that you can bet
Yeah.
on this because I feel like, you know, if I'm Rihanna, I know I'm rich, but why not, make a
Wait,
couple
wait,
more
dude.
million?
I'm just saying, if I'm a stagehand on the prop and I've been there to see what's going down, put a year's salary on that thing, man.
Yeah,
You just
well,
doubled your money.
hey, look, if you're Rihanna, why don't you say, hey, I didn't give you a Christmas bonus because of this.
Right. Here's your bonus.
Put
We're starting with
$50K
umbrella.
on this song being the first one. Boom.
Yeah.
You're getting 8-1 odds. I just gave you the best
Well, look,
Christmas bonus ever.
look, it goes back to Jeff. I watched so many like documentaries with that. Did you ever see the one with the McDonald's, the old school Monopoly McDonald's, where the guy ran the scam?
I
Basically,
never
like the
watched it,
McDonald's,
but I've heard about it.
right?
Yeah.
The McDonald's guy who had the piece and he would get rid of it and have other people cash it. So it's the same thing. If I'm the producer, I'm calling everybody in my family and like just telling them throw all your cash in, and I'm just going to take a 10% cut off each one of those across the board. Just bring the money, man.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I'm just saying. Rihanna, I could use some money if you want to give me a call and tell me what the first
Right?
song is going to be. All right. Well, I saved these for last. We don't even need to really talk because we've already gave
Yeah, we're already on those.
you're taking the Eagles and the 1.5. I'm taking the Chiefs underdogs in the Super Bowl, which I think is crazy. I believe you already said you're taking the over,
Yeah.
correct?
Yep.
And I've already said I am taking the under. I'm so ticked off. The championship game weekend, I text my degenerate friend who gambles on everything, and I said, "Man, I'm not a gambler, but I'd let it all ride on the unders of these two games." I'm like, now that might mean the overs are going to be big time wins, but I would lay
Mhm.
a lot on the under. And he's like, "I'll check it out." I don't think he bet. Probably just because of me. He's like, "Well, I thought under, but if Jeff thinks
Yeah.
so, no." So I'm riding the under. It's been good to me in the playoffs so far, I feel like.
A lot of these I'm making with my heart because what I want to see, man, is I got a lot of friends in and around me, and I'll be at a party with a whole bunch of Eagles fans. There's not going to be Chief fans that are around, okay? And at the end of the day, I could care less who wins this game, but I do want to see that entertainment. I want to watch the Eagles fans sweat. I want to see the up, the down. I hope that's what I'm looking for, right? And so that's why I'm going on the over. You've got two offenses that are explosive. I feel like it's been a little while since we've had a Super Bowl where the offenses just went out and just lit each other up. I feel like they're always defensive battles. So I'd like to see that shootout just come to fruition.
Please, if the Eagles lose on a dramatic last minute play or a
Oh, give
field
me a
goal to
video.
win, please take video of that because I will for hours.
Yes, sir.
You
I
see me
got your
mute myself?
video. Yes, sir. I like that. I got your video.
Yeah, I waited to make us big until after that part.
There you go.
See, Isaac, I'm smart. All right, well, dude. Hey, my glass may be empty, but here's to a enjoyable Super Bowl. You know, hopefully it's a good one. I unfortunately already saw the Breaking Bad commercial. It's well worth it. I'm going to watch it again and again and
Yeah.
again, mainly because I just missed Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
That's going to be the best commercial of the night, so don't miss that one.
I miss when there weren't reruns as commercials, quite honestly. Like,
Yeah,
we are stuck in a society that can't wait for our shit, that you can't even get new. Like, why, as a company, you're not debuting your ad when you've paid that much money for the spot? That just doesn't
you know
make sense.
why? Because it's a commercial.
Yeah. I just, Jesus.
They don't mind people watching their commercial more than one time.
Yeah.
I thought the same thing. I'm like, oh man, this would have hit great watching it live. But at the same time, I also would have been that asshole screaming, "Shut the hell up! Bryan Cranston is on TV!"
Right.
So at least I don't have to be that guy, although I'll probably still do that.
Now, look, I will tell you this. The last time Philly was in the Super Bowl, everyone has their football Super Bowl party stories, right? And no matter what, when you're there, there's always the commercial person. There's the one who's just catching up on life for the year. It's the significant other who knows not. There's all those pieces. They don't exist at a Philly Super Bowl party. They don't. If the Eagles are in the Super Bowl, there is nothing outside of that world, that bubble. This is all football from everyone, from 5 years old screaming EAGLES to, the grandmother to everyone else. There's not a focus on commercials or halftime shows. It's football.
Wait. People in Philadelphia know how to spell?
Only Eagles.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure they don't even know that they're spelling Eagles. They just know what letter to put in front of it, right?
They don't even know their letters. They just know that they're the sounds.
How parents spell bad words in front of their kids, because you're like, they'll never even understand. Yeah, that's kind of it. They just know that they're supposed to scream E when everybody screams E.
Well, I hope those mouth breathers in Philly have a great time. Not.
Hey, one way or the other, I'm telling you this much, and it happened last year. It'll happen this time. For me, locally, I am guaranteed to have an entertaining night, because win or lose, I get to turn on the news and watch just the Philly's finest. Good or bad, the city is getting damaged, and there will be great audio. It's phenomenal, because they do street interviews and still act shocked, right? Like early in the night, it's just like, wow, it's a great game. We won. And 2 hours into it, it's F-bombs. And the reporter's like, oh no, what did you think? You can just watch the slide of humanity, and be it good or bad, I get to do that on Sunday night. So that'll be what I go to sleep to.
No, I don't sleep in a war zone. Where the
I'm south of the war zone,
falling in my shoe.
Yeah, I'm south of the war zone. I get to watch it from just far enough away, much like a zoo, right?
You get to roast your marshmallows over the fire, but you're not. Yeah. Your house isn't on fire.
Yeah. I love when the monkeys are all worked up in the zoo. They ain't
throwing their shit all over the place.
Yeah, it's fun to watch that from behind glass, and I get that safety.
Oh, God. Well, hopefully it's a good Super Bowl. Hopefully I get a great, pleasurable video of a bunch of Eagles fans devastatingly sad. Steve, make sure you take a video if that happens too. I want to see it.
I won't be there with Steve. Steve's on a whole different level of stuff, but I promise you, one way or the other, you're going to get video, good or bad. I'll let you know.
I need a Steve selfie video if the play comes down to a final field goal.
I have a feeling that he's going to make a video for you if the Eagles win.
And you know what I'll do with that?
Nothing.
I'll be like, oh, yeah, okay. Not watching that.
That's how I am with every Eagles fan. If I get any video from any Eagles fan, I'm very hesitant to open it. I don't care if it's in preseason. You never know what might pop on the screen.
Yeah, well, no matter what, it's going to have bad grammar and spelling. Not Steve, maybe, but. All right, Jeremiah, enjoy the Super Bowl. I know that I'll have enough of these that I probably won't know what's going on, but I'll be screaming for the under.
That's it. You're going to be the guy going against the points where all I want to do is see it ramped up, man.
I'll be like, where the hell is Eli Apple? There'll be an Eli Apple reference. I guarantee it.
I
All
look
right.
forward to it.
For Jeremiah, I am Jeff. Enjoy the Super Bowl, unless you're an Eagles fan. And make sure you're subscribed to FL Teams anywhere, everywhere where you can be. See you on Wednesday. Where we watch Philadelphia burn and talk about the aftermath of the Super Bowl. Just 2 fingers. Peace.
Happy football Christmas.